Okay, here we are, round 3, Holden Cruze JG model. Now I've got a couple of tricks here I want to try. First of all, I had to redo my tokens because I ran out of tokens, so I had to, this is why it's round 3, I had to go home, basically update the machine, do all that sort of stuff. Now, let's go through and get this program. So I'll show you the key I'm using. So this is one of those Silk aftermarket lookalike type ones. So it's already got the transponder chip in, the remote's good to go. So thought it unlocked then and actually worked. So I'm going to put it in the ignition, turn it on. I'm going to go through, go to Holden, and we're going to look up Cruse. There's Cruse, and we want JG 2009 2000 thing. So we're going to connect. Okay, connect. Press to use a token. No functionality. Not all functions will use tokens. Okay, well we want to use tokens. Loading app. Switch ignition on. Okay. So we've got 25 tokens in there. But what I want to try and do is comms failed. Ignition's on, that's there. Okay. Comms failed. Okay. So ignition definitely is on. Let's try this again. Switch ignition on. Okay, it's blinking 11.4. So all right. You know what? Let's put some power onto this and let's get this above 12 volt before we do anything. Okay, round 4, let's go. Okay, so we've got a jump pack on the car. Oh, look at that, 12 volt, awesome. Let's see if that makes all the difference. Keys in ignition, immobilizer light flashing. Let's do this again. So last time we couldn't get comms, I'm thinking it was because of the battery power, as battery power on this one is critical. Let's go under the exact make and model. Let's try this again. Read ping code, connect, yes, use a token, switch ignition on, yes, come on, establish comms. Wouldn't do it before, the battery was just below 12. Comms failed. Comms fail. You're kidding me. Connect program keys. Switch ignition on. Thumbs up. Okay. Cruise in case I try more. In case. Okay. Thumbs up. Hold on. Okay, so JG 4. Next. Switch on. Quick, so it's top here. Fail, fault code. Erase fault code in this menu. Switch fail. Home. Try that. That's it. Do that. Try the comms. Okay, fault codes here. Right there. Kitchen's on. What is that? Okay, that's different. Let's get in the comms. This is scaling too much. JG, that's the next one we'll do now. Let's try this one. And that was try 4. Campaign. On. 5. Okay, so what did we learn from this vehicle? So it's a Holden Cruze 2010 JG model, and it's like one of those Opals. I mean, they do call it different cars around the world. It might be the same car, it's just branded differently. So I tried everything to try and get this car going. The reason I had to go back to it so many times was the first time I got there to have a look, because I was told it wasn't working, I thought maybe there's something we could do, maybe it's a remote. So I went and had a look, found out what make and model it was, so then I could go and order the correct remote control, because these particular cars, I think they're very similar to another one that I was doing, and they actually have a transponder on the circuit board, and it needs to have that to be programmed in. And if you try and program in just a transponder key, you might be able to get it to work, but the problem is that it has an automatic alarm function, so having a standard key is impractical, and you really do need that remote key. So I had to buy one of those Silka lookalike ones, which look pretty good quality, a little bit more expensive than the eBay ones. And I went back. That was the first time, then I went back the second time, try and program it in, and basically I couldn't get anywhere with it, couldn't program it. The first time I went there, had a look. Second time I went back with my remote, and then I went to pull out my Smart Pro, and of course the subscription had just expired. So my unlimited package token subscription had expired. I thought it might be like the MVP where you use a couple of emergency tokens, but that definitely wasn't the case. So I had to go back for a third time. When I went back third time after loading my Smart Pro with new tokens, I couldn't get comms whatsoever. So I tried for the time that I had, half an hour, and then after that I thought, okay, well, I'm going to come back and see what else it could be. So I went back and I thought to myself, it has to be the battery power. It has to be the battery power. If in the top right you could see it was in red. So then I went back and put a battery pack on it and tried again. Still couldn't get comms. I tried different model, I tried different make, I tried all sorts of things. I was able to read the VIN, so I thought there must be some sort of communication and the cable must be working, but as to why I couldn't get comms, I had no idea. So I spoke to a few other people, and they came back with it's a BCM problem, most likely a BCM problem. VIN numbers stored in a different computer compared with the immobilizer system, and if you can't get comms with it, that's most likely the issue. I was also told on this car that it was intermittently working. The car was intermittently working, but when I got to it, of course, it was completely not working. So sounds like a faulty BCM from what I found out. So if cars basically stop working, it can be a bit of a red flag, and in this particular scenario where it is a key problem, but it's actually the BCM that's causing the key problem. So there's not really a lot we can do. So this was one of those learning curves. Yeah, it took me four goes of going backwards and forwards, and I had to outlay some stock to do it and cut the key and all those sorts of things. It was undesirable, but how do you know? A lot of the time when you get out there, it's not a problem. But in this particular case, without a new BCM, there's nothing more I can do. So when the customers start telling you, oh, it used to work, and it just stopped working, keep in mind that it might actually be a faulty BCM which is causing the problem. So if you go out there and invest that time, you might be out of luck, which we were on this car. We spent 3 or 4 times a bit of money going backwards and forwards, and there was nothing we could charge because the car needed a new BCM, and the owner wasn't really prepared to do that. They basically just wanted to pay for just a new key to be programmed in, and that's all they wanted to pay for. So that's all we could kind of really do. Anyway, leave your comments down below. If you've got any other videos you'd like to see, or something video we can make, just leave us some ideas down in the comment section down below. And if you've done this car and you've had a similar problem, leave it in the comment section, and thanks for watching.